Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. It's Travis. We've got for you today another Crimson Vow Best of 3 draft from MTG Arena. And this was an interesting one. I found myself being drawn into a color pair that I don't draft very often. And someone, I believe it was Michael, said in my chat that he felt like the enemy color pairs in this set weren't as often supported, and we found ourselves in an enemy color pair that I've kind of avoided, but ended up with the deck I was very happy with and some good gameplay. Although I'll warn you, I did get a little bit distracted in Game 3 as we were getting close to time for a tournament. But I hope that you'll enjoy the draft and the gameplay. I think there's some valuable lessons here. If you super enjoy what I'm doing, do consider clicking that subscribe button. That'll give you an alert when there's a new video out so you can catch it as soon as possible. And if you super like what I'm up to, there's a link down below to my Patreon where you can support my content directly and get cool rewards like maybe making me wear a cat onesie on stream, which now I'm doing all the way through December. Thank you very much to Thangarth and Icerock, as well as everyone else who supported me in November for that, as well as see your name up in lights at the end of the videos and get some other cool rewards. So check that out if you're so inclined. And thanks for watching. Enjoy today's video. All right, pack one, pick one. What do we like? We like grabbing a leg? I can respect grabbing a leg. Suitor? I like the suitor too. Like, part of me wants to take Witness the Future because I really like decks that I can play Witness the Future in. But I think it does make sense to take the suitor out of this. It's a pretty blue pack, though. Like, if we got into red-blue, for example, we'd probably wheel something, which I dig. Speaking of red-blue, I don't play a lot of red-blue, but I would consider playing a Wandering Mind if we're going to get some value out of it. This card feels like it almost got there in this set, which is kind of weird. Like, I think I thought this was going to be something I was excited to first pick, or second pick, and it just wasn't. Thank you, Henning. I hope you have a good evening, my friend. Yeah, I think it's still the call here, though. All right, so how do we feel about Whispering Wizard in blue-red? I think it's harder to put together, too. I think it was Michael mentioned yesterday that the enemy color pairs are a little harder to get to work than the allied color pairs, and I think he's right. Like, taking a bunch of cards that want you to cast spells seems like a very reasonable start to something like this. So let's give it a go. I tried this earlier and it didn't work. Now I'll still move off of it if we get past something irresistible. Galuba Fish. Thank you for the resub. Y'all spam some cats for Galuba Fish. Or legs. Whatever makes you happy. I don't know that the Arch Ghoul is amazing, but it's the best card in this pack by a pretty significant margin, right? But there's not a blue card here. And I like Belligerent Guests, but I'm not picking them fourth pick. Not willing to do that. Now there's blue cards again. There's not blue non-creature cards. It's like, do we want to go into black-red or blue-red? Thank you, Rachel. I expect that one will come in very handy. If we're thinking about do we want to be black-red or blue-red, does that mean we just take the Celebrant and say, okay, we're probably playing red? Guten Abend, Courtney. I think so. I think that's exactly what we do. 6 pick, huh? Whispering Wizard looks like a pre-haircut dress. He certainly does, Sompub. That Witness the Future should come back. Like the first one, that is. So if we end up in blue-red and we want that, we'll get that back. I don't have to fret about that. I think I'm supposed to take the Grizzly Ritual here and not be terribly happy about it, but just accept it. I'm still trying to navigate exactly what color pair we are. That's a very late Fierce Retribution. The problem is it's also here with the Vampire's Vengeance, which I like quite a bit. What could I play this with? I don't know. It feels like the best card in the pack. See where it goes. Plains in a Revolving Wilds. There you go. I think I actually like the Geist here, or yeah, the Geist here, and let's see if White's opening up a little bit. So this was our opening pack, and we didn't spin the 3-mana blue card. Yeah, this was packed with good blue cards, and none of them came back. No, I don't think you guys are the problem at all. I think that I need to focus a little bit more on playing, and I can have chat up. The crab's really bad. I don't want the crab. I've been unhappy every time I've played that. I shouldn't say it that way. I don't care much for the crab. I don't think we're blue. I think if that uncommon didn't wheel out of that pack, we're probably not actually playing blue. I think there's a reasonable chance for white-black. Could be blue-white, though. Because that did come back for us. Yeah, and what I ended up not seeing was red cards, even after all of that. Interesting. But no, to answer your question, I don't think that you guys are the problem. I got a little frustrated in that I said I was trying something new and a couple regulars said they didn't like it. And I reacted poorly to that, mainly because it felt good to sit down and play and be like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. But it's also just, I need to kind of establish some boundaries. Like, if it's a crucial moment in gameplay, I probably don't need to be focused on chat. A bit of decision time here. I can take the Fierce Retribution and see where we go, or I could take the Expert. If I take the Retribution, I'm probably like wedding myself to white. But if I get 2 Fierce Retributions, I'm kind of okay with that. So I think we're white. I don't know what white what yet. Let's see what each of the color pairs has going for it. Black, not really anything right now. So we would be basically looking at Boros or Azorius. Azorius gives me flyers, combat tricks. Yeah. This looks like we're supposed to be going blue-white. So I like the Witness now. Kind of sucks to be passing a good uncommon. And I'll move back in if we see something, but this looks like a reasonable start. Well, whichever is the top tier archetype doesn't actually matter that much, right? What's important is figuring out what's open at your table, which may very well be something different. We could also consider taking the Child of the Pack. It's quite strong, but were we just blue-red all along? I think maybe we were, y'all. Because all of a sudden, everything I said about white has just disappeared. And this looks kind of better. With my, with these casual 3 braids. But it is worth knowing what the top archetypes are. But I think that there are too many people that focus on that and act like if you're not drafting the top archetype that you're doing something wrong. I still espouse that you should be picking the best cards out of the pack and trying to figure out what's open, which I think we've done a decent job of in this case. I don't love the Screaming Swarm outside of green. Whereas I feel like sometimes you have to have Lacerate Flesh, but like it's a decent uncommon. That's when you marry someone you meet on the internet, right, Rachel? Yeah, I want the Lacerate Flesh. Doesn't really go in this deck. We'll make it work. Not the 2-drop I want, but we could play it. Do we have an End the Festivities already? I really don't like this crab. I didn't even remember it was a crab. I heard you saying it yesterday, and I couldn't even remember what crab you were talking about. I don't think that's the case, Voltron. I think with very few exceptions, there's no colors that you should be looking to not play. The only one I can think of in recent memory was Battle for Zendikar. And if you want to go back a little further than that, Avacyn Restored. If you want to go back a little bit farther than that, Torment and Judgment had some thoughts. I agree. I don't like green-white, but if it's what's open, like, I'll probably draft it. This could put us potentially splashing one of these Fierce Retributions. I think I'm pretty easily on the Flame Blessed Bolt here. Well, that almost makes it trivial to splash one, doesn't it? I think more so than saying green-white sucks, there's a takeaway there, and it's that training isn't actually very good. So I've had good green-white decks, they just didn't focus on the mechanic that's making the color pairs typically not very good. But as soon as everybody decides that a particular color pair is bad, it's open all the time, and you can get a good version of the deck for free. I don't have enough early game. But if I just go ahead and take this, we're confirmed on splashing 1 Retribution. Okay, and there's a little bit more of my early game. I'm down with that. I would actually like 1 piece of raw card draw currently. Alright, fine. I need a finisher. Which cards did you like the look of, Timber? Because I think you're talking about Zendikar Rising, and I'm not talking about Zendikar Rising. I'm talking about Battle for Zendikar, which is a much older set. There's nothing wrong with green-white and Zendikar Rising. Okay, said I wanted some raw card draw. There's some. Battle for Zendikar was a set that was mostly about ramping, and most of the green cards ramped, but so did tons of colorless cards. There was just nothing that green did that was unique, which meant green was really, really bad. I think we've got another one of these, so if this is my early game, we can just do that and be fine. Well, Also note, okay, that's fair, but also note, when I said it, I said there are some sets where I would think about avoiding things. I still think it was okay to play green in Battle for Zendikar if you got past particular rares. But I was going to be looking to not play green. Yeah, also wasn't a huge fan of green-white. Fair enough, but... Do we want 2 thongs, or do we want to... I kind of want the other piece of card draw here. Because at that point, I feel like I could play the other Fierce Retribution and be pretty happy. And like throw in a Prisoner and a Counterspell and call it a deck. Yeah, I think we probably just do that. But here you go, here's a deck. See, that's where I disagree, Volcron. But it's okay to have different theories on draft. I'm just presenting my theory on draft. I believe that you should always be trying, that the open deck for your seat should always be the best deck. Right? So like, I have a tendency to end up, and people will sometimes make fun of me for, always drafting whatever the worst archetype is in a set. So whatever everybody thinks is the worst archetype of whatever set they're playing, generally speaking, that's what I'm going to draft a lot. Because I don't care what is the best and what's the second best. I'm just going to draft what's open. But generally speaking, if there's something people are avoiding, I'll end up drafting it a lot. This ought to work, though. I don't think you're going to get too many bleed dries, Elgi. How many do you have? I mean, realistically, 10 is probably the upper limit. Yeah, then we're on the same page. I guess I don't see value in saying something like, this archetype is one of the better ones. Yeah, 4, you don't have too many. It seems like a good number to me. All right, let's see if this deck's got any play to it. All right, we'll kill a couple things and see what happens. Kind of have to kill whatever they play. Okay. I'll agree with you there, Volcron. Yeah, I would have liked to have had 1 or 2 of those. I think if those were our 2-drops, we'd be a lot happier than if they were the wolves, but I didn't really see an opportunity to pick any up. We've got a little bit of card draw here, so we're kind of just like chilling, looking to hit some card draw. Yeah! And now our assault begins. Turn 7, 2/2. How will you handle this? They handled it. Yeah, the blood mechanic's a bit busted. I'm trying to play around a Mind Rot. There's one in the format, and it's very playable. Ooh, lordy! Ha ha ha! Can I get one of them removal spells back, please? And neither of these are doing anything. This is actually a great opportunity for us to cycle a land. That's pretty hot. Hi, thanks, Isaiah. Good luck to you, too. Most of what I ended up doing in Kaldheim was just putting hats on 2/2 Berserkers and winning. There were some great hats in Kaldheim, can confirm. Well, we could blow up a blood token with this. That's pretty cool. It feels like I flooded, but they've drawn the same amount of lands as I have. I guess they hit more card. Yeah, they hit 2 pieces of card draw, and I didn't hit any of mine. Kind of needed it. Go ahead and fire off a piece of removal on this, because I have to draw into the other retribution this turn or I'm dead. That ain't it. Peace. Not really anything to change that. Like, I've got as much card draw as we saw from them, right? Like, I've got my own Impulse and Scattered Thoughts. I just have to draw it. Yeah, I don't think I can fiddle with much else. Like, we've got decent removal. Ideally, I don't... Like, now we know not to use Basically, if I get a Fierce Retribution, I can't cast it unless we see Olivia's Attendants. I think every color had living weapons in Kaldheim. Don't remember the green one. Yeah, dude, it was a bow. Yeah, they all had it. Oh, you said had the best one. What was the best one? I remember liking the hammer and the bow a lot. Helm was pretty good too. It was a bit much for a 5-drop. I like the helm a lot. Not the white one. Yeah, I can confirm. That one was pretty bad. Alright, so we're just going to set this Fierce Retribution off to the side. And we're not doing anything with it. We cannot cast it unless they cast their Olivia's Attendants. I'm not killing this wolf with it. Can't do it. Do I have any double reds? No, but I might want to use 2 red in the same turn. Thing's annoying. Giant's Amulet. I didn't particularly care for that one. It was playable though. They were all playable. They've got a shock. At least I think they do. Maybe they just liked me better before the haircut. The HP in this case stands for Hunter Pence. Different HP. Yes, you each get your own personal Hunter Pence. Yeah, it's like I didn't want to do that one, Sean. Wizard people, dear reader. I kind of want to fire off this wash away this turn. So I think I'm going to counter a potato and then start suppository scabbing. I was gonna call it sweaty giveaway. I actually, it gave me... It gave me the confidence I needed to continue streaming some Brownie. Which is good. I like that. Mid giveaway might be better. It still needs to be, like, associated with the sweatsuit somehow, though. You got both of them? Not that I like you having both of them. Alright, so what happens if I kill something and swing in? They eat this guy, they block this guy, they take 3. That's not good enough. Vincent, thank you for the raid. I think I can talk about it a little better when I'm between rounds, Brownie. Give me 1 minute. And I think I can give you a bit of a better answer. I don't think that works because they know about the lacerate. I think this puts me in a better position. I don't think they can attack with that thing. Gold. I guess it doesn't, but I feel like we're winning in the air. Yeah, maybe I overvalued the wizard. That's not crazy, Techno Shaman. Well, it's good to see you, Vincent. I hope you had a good stream. Sometimes it's fun to get stompy and pretend you're an orc. So Brownie said, how did the focus work out? So the thing was, because I don't think I have, I don't really have a sideboard here unless we want in the festivities. We've seen a lot of their deck now, and it doesn't look like that hits anything. Yeah, they've got 2 bombs. We need to answer those 2 bombs and we win. Okay, so like after yesterday, I don't know, I'd had a bunch of like bad weeks in a row where I guess not bad weeks. I've had some health challenges. That doesn't help. I've not been feeling well over the past 3 weeks. And combine that with, I would lose to what seemed like to me silly mistakes. And I couldn't really put my mind on why I was making them. And I think what it is there's a balance of how much I can interact with chat and still be able to win at the video game. And I think I had let the pendulum go a little bit too far. So I think a reset was very good for me mentally. To be like, hey, if I'm actually paying attention, I'm pretty good at this game. And that I needed a reminder of that. So I think the actual answer is probably not like ignoring chat for all of the stream. I think doing it now and then is probably a good thing for a little bit of mental focus. But I think remembering where that boundary is, such as if somebody asks, how did the focus work out, and I'm in the middle of a game, rather than stopping what I'm doing to explain it, wait till there's a break in the action, such as sideboard, and then answer the question more fully. Maybe that makes a little more sense. It makes sense to me. It's like, hey, if you're in the middle of something, it's okay to be like, I'll get you in a minute. I do too, and when I had 15 viewers, it was fine, but when there's 80 or 200, it's not fine. It's okay to use this on that. It's because it's not killing the big stuff. So it's very okay for me to use it here. What is the meaning of life? Being kind to other people and pursuing your passions. That one's easy. If you think there's more meaning than that, somebody's trying to sell you something. What I wanted to be careful of, because we've got to go find a removal spell for this right now. Neither of these are removal spells for that. This can combine into one though. And best of 3 makes such a difference.
Go away and never come back.
Thank you for the host magic. Good to see y'all. I hope that things are well in your world. Three is more than two, is why I'm attacking them here. This format's great. Best of three is great. Hey, there's something that can't block. Don't care. Cool. I don't know how to play it in best of one. Have zero ideas. Like, imagine that was a best of one game, right? Like, in game one, I used removal where I had to, and I got run over by 2 bombs. And in games 2 and 3, I knew what bombs to look out for and was very careful with what we used our removal on, and it was easy to win. Like, their deck wasn't that good if you took away those 2 bombs. It was fine. It's not like they drafted a bad deck and had crap cards in it. It's just there were 2 cards that mattered. And this makes me feel like it's old school Magic. Because back in the day, your opponent had a Sarah Angel and you had 1 Doomblade, and you couldn't use the Doomblade on everything else. Now, the bombs are better and the games end quicker, so you've got less opportunities to draw it, but you've also probably got more than 1 Doomblade. I had 2. And a bunch of burn spells that we could add up into a removal spell. So, I don't know. I like it. Keeper. Ain't lovely. This is not going to get any better. That's what it's for. Well, that's unfortunate. Imagine having 2 colors of mana and not being able to cast your hand. Yikes. Alright, I'm gonna need a little help, Dak. That counts as a little help. I wouldn't say it's a lot of help, but it's a little help. Because I still need to deal with the shield basher. Hello, Simwife. That's my favorite person right there. Alright, we did need to deal with this guy, and now we have. We'll have an advantage in game 2 because they won't know that we're actually a red-blue deck that just drew our splash. Yeah, we've got him completely fooled. It's going to be great. Super dead, yeah. All right, like I said, we got him fooled. I know the answer to the Hunter Pence giveaway question. But I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. Well, everyone here should know the answer. Exclamation point HP giveaway if you'd like to get involved. It is not for a Hewlett-Packard. I think I'm probably going to be interested in the festivities against them because they seemed pretty festive and I didn't like it. Yeah, I guess you know. You're more likely to know than anybody else, eh? What does I don't want? I never really wanted Wash Away, so that's a pretty easy cut. I'd rather just be dirty. Yeah, I didn't really register for a minute there, Richard, that of all the people who would definitely know who had won the most Sweatsuit Invitationals, it would be you. All right, we're going to blow their mind with 3 colors of mana this time. I know something you don't know. I'm not left-handed. Easy for you. You couldn't imprison it. I wasn't going to block with it. I kind of want to block with you, though. But yeah, I can totally do that. I want to try to get all the advantage I can out of this dude before they do the thing with the stuff. But I can kind of just sack him. And get back the Reckless Impulse and be pretty happy. I'm not sure they can even afford to attack here without another removal spell. Yeah, that's a good idea, Thangarth. I didn't even think about that. I guess I'm thinking the game's going to go longer is a big part of that. They still want to race me. I mill him. You can have your Where is your Brian Comer now? Sure does, don't it? There have been many controversial and brave takes. How can you say something so controversial and yet so brave? Thank you. That's all we got. Hello, Enlighten. Can't cast our blue spells, but I do like the ones we have. I might need to abrade that. Let's see what they cast afterwards. Alright, fine, you got me. Party's over, friendo. Boop. They're going to try to kill it now. But unless they have two of them, it's not going to work. That's pretty great, Dave. I'd taken a braid back, wouldn't you? Caw-caw! It's seagulls with Cthulhu in their face. iButt, a new product from Apple. Thank you, ButtSpot. Bye, Brian. I didn't even really need to do that, but it made me happy, so I did. All right, you're making it a little more difficult. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do what I'm about to do. I mean, that is kind of what we want, yeah. It's pretty glorious. I'm a wee bit cold to that. I mean, that's functionally enough. It means I would be trading 1 for 3. As it is, we end up trading kind of 1 for 1. You got me. I will kill it if you do that. We had to work a little bit for that one. I didn't like it. Yeah, 3 cheers for Spadone in chat here. He has put together some really good stuff with the Sweatsuit Invitational, and I'm excited to play tonight. There is a small chance we will have to dip out of this of this draft to play in the Sweatsuit in time, and that's okay. We can do that if that's what we need to do. We got 1 cheer, but that's pretty good. Thank you, Simwife. Lurkers can still cheer. It's okay. If you want to. There you go, Thangarth. That's a cheer too, ain't it? All right. It's okay, Timber. Thank you. Would have been nice to hit another blue there. This kind of sucks. It's certainly my intention to win again. Dang it, Bobby. We needed a few more lands. What's it like? They have to have something, right? Aside from shame. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad for us, other than we're still horribly losing this game. But like, a white mana, and we're right back into it. I'm not racing them with a 2-1. But the cycle there might be valuable. And show me white mana, please. Extort it. This has to be a plains or we're dead, but... Alright, it's not a plains, we're dead. So not really a problem there, other than we need to hit some lands. Solid targets for a Braid and the Shock. I don't even hate the counterspell against them. In the Festivities, which is really our best sideboard card, does not appear to be one we'd be excited about here. All right, let's run it back then. If I can get through the Wombat Zone, I'll be there to participate in that tournament. Alright, it's got both colors this time, which I dig. That's also like $5 American thing, Garth, so... Need to hit lands. Hey, and that gives us 2 of them. Good evening, Smooth Tuesday. It is indeed a smooth Tuesday. Thank you, Enlighten. I hope you have a great evening, my friend. I think I'm the aggressor here. We're gonna be dirty dancing, yo. I've done that before. It sucks. I'm not even gonna give him any emote spam. It's like, that just sucks. It just straight up sucks. I feel bad for him. We'll make him feel better, like I would have killed it anyway. Delightful. So that artifact, you can take counters off of it, or you can sacrifice it, and they clicked the wrong one. They didn't mean to sacrifice it. And I think just got really frustrated after that interaction, which again, I have made that mistake. It sucks. It's embarrassing. I don't think it was quite game over, but you can concede anytime you want to. Pretty good one if we hit a red source. I believe we can hit a red source. See, there's the red source. Hello, Fee. Well, shoot. That was not ideal. All right. Play 3-5 and start beating you down with it. Or not. Fine too. It's a fun card for them to know I have. You know? It's just interesting interplay. Do we know what their green is for? If I abrade that, I'm only taking one card away from them, but I'm kind of still comfortable doing it. Like, this hand is pretty stacked on removal, and if they want to kill my Wandering Mind, they kind of got me. Kind of forgot they could sacrifice it in response. I'm bad, and I feel bad. That's where I was like, some focus might have been useful. I'm still kind of tired. My body ran a marathon this morning. Thank you. No, I said my body ran a marathon. I did not run a marathon. I cleaned up the house and had a lot of stomach problems. I believe the two are unrelated. I may just kill him with this 2/1 flyer. Yeah, I may as well counter this, because then they don't get the card draw and their thing's still dead. So holding up safety for one more turn only helps me if they literally have the removal spell now or top deck it. I don't think they have one right now. We'll get a good read on whether they do or not from this. This means they don't. The little guy has to die again. I'll kill it 3 times if I have to. Alright, I can't keep it up anymore, so I may as well just start poking for 3. If they have the removal spell, they got me, but I can't keep it up anymore. Ironically, with drawing a land, I could have kept it up. Yeah. Thanks for being here, Rob. I'm still making some mistakes. But it's because I'm getting nervous about the sweatsuit starting. I need to work some on my anxiety. Like, that's another thing I can sort of combat. Like, it's okay. I don't need to actually worry about it until it's 7. Oh, we're at 9, they're at 11. We've got a millbird in our deck, though, so it shouldn't realistically come to milling. Unfortunate. I mean, I'm gonna have to draw the millbird pretty quick. I guess if it's the bottom card, it will matter. We didn't exile it, right? Yeah, the millbird's still in here. We need to draw the millbird and have them not counter it. And it can actually be the last card, as long as they don't start trading off creatures with us. Because I just need it to mill for 3. Less now. I don't think I'm killing them with damage anymore. I think we just need to make sure that we have 4 creatures in play when it's their turn, when we draw. And then as soon as we draw it, we probably win. Although I'm going to need it relatively fast now. Boop. They could have just bounced one of the attackers and won, but they didn't. I feel kind of bad for them. Was it 3 cards? Okay, never mind. I was too cautious. Best of 3. Even when you're anxious and start making mistakes, you can still win if you wear a cat suit. That's why I wanted a little bit of focus today. I need more, but a little bit of focus is nice. All right, we've got like 9 minutes before the sweatsuit. I'm going to go refill my water bottle and frankly just chillax for a minute before that fires up. And a big thank you to my patrons. Paul, Punk, Adrian, Hero, Joe, Jesse, Jacob, Scott, Basti, Rich, Michael, and Brandon. Thank you very much for your support. If you'd like to become a patron as well, check below. There's a link. All sorts of cool stuff for you. Thank you all very much. I'll see you next time.